Thank you, Trustee Burley. The next question.
The next question, Trustee Burley will start with. If elected, what would be the first project or improvement that you would work on? And please try to be specific.
First project. I'm going to give my full discussion on this. The first project, my first priority as village president would be to revisit the Ordinance 1505, which sets the rules and regulations for the head of the village. I stated previously that the entire ordinance was drafted by a trustee outside of the village eye. That in and of itself is a reason why we need to go back to this. But it goes beyond that. Many of you are probably familiar with this, many of you may not be, so I'll kind of go into some details on it. This changed how the village structure operates. It took the hiring and firing of all employees and rested that power with the board, not with the CFO or the CAO of your organization. So what you can see, and likely will see, when the 7 people on the board are approving everything and hiring and firing, you'll see employees come to the board for requests instead of following the chain of command up through their managers and through the village administrator. That will open up the door to corruption and nepotism and things that we don't deserve here in Montgomery. One of the other points that this does is it requires the trustees and the president to review all department heads. Now, previously, the board had reviewed the manager because there's nobody else above her to review her or him. But now we review all the department heads. Now, I wasn't in support of that, but because the ordinance was written and it was approved 4-2, I felt that we were complied to do that. So I spent many nights working on a review of our chief of police, development department, finance department, and come to find out later that some of the people who approved the ordinance didn't even bother to do that. So, and Trustee Keck being one of them. So I think there's a lot of problems with this, and we could be facing a lot more problems if we don't fix that. Real quickly, one of the other things that I would work on, I have a long list of to-do lists, but an economic toolbox, a virtual toolbox of tools that we have at our disposal for when Sam's Club comes in. Obviously, we entice them to come into the village with the sales tax incentive agreement. That's not the only tool that we have. We need to figure out all the other tools that we could have, being tax rebates, a revolving loan fund, waiving certain fees. And some of the things that Sam's Club liked the most was actually speeding up our review process. And this goes back to my day job, I've been in 100 different municipalities in this area at Plan Commission and board meetings where it takes 6-8 months. My company I work for now, we do design of McDonald's and CVS. It takes 6 to 8 months to get through that process. Well, speeding that up for a business and allowing them to open up their doors 6 months earlier saves them a ton of money. So there's some very concrete things that we can do in our toolbox, but also some of the easier things of making sure that we get our reviews done in a timely fashion and schedule special meetings if we have to. Because I think everybody in here would agree that landing Sam's Club is a huge win for that side of town, for the whole village, and the sales tax revenue that we're all going to benefit from in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Burley. Trustee Keck?
The single most important thing for the village is the budget. What people care about is what's in that budget, how their money's spent, what we're doing to bring jobs back to the village. If you want to get into all sorts of minutia, I mean, we could do that, but I think it's more important to consider the overall picture here, where we need to get a permanent village manager on board. We also need to get a finance director on board who can concentrate on looking at the budget totally and then coming up with cuts wherever possible. We need to get things in place like our financial plan. That's the roadmap that we need for the village here. Again, I would want to continue to raise the profile of Montgomery in the general area. Our present village president has done that, That's been a priority of hers, and I would continue to do that. Just raising our profile in the area here. And then probably the single most important item here would be to be attractive to new businesses, and then we would want to be supportive of our existing businesses. At times, we don't have that. These would all be priorities that I would look for early on, and then smart growth and lean government is really what it comes down to on the bottom line. Thank you.